All right, shalom, shalom to the nation of Israel. This is Captain Hamal of LOG Augusta, Georgia, under Priest Kahan and Minister Shalomah of the Light of Zion. So let me go ahead and do this real quick. Shalom, shalom to the nation of Israel. As you can see by the title, we're going to be talking about giving to the poor. Because that's an important thing in life. Having that life lesson, having something to push you, to motivate you. This is basically what the Monday classes is going to be about. Increasing our spirit, right? Joshua 1 and 8, actually applying the scripture to us, right? And in that way, everything could be prosperous to us, right? So, the Most High we always got to find a way to please the Most High. It's never enough. Keeping the commandments, you can't just say, I'm keeping the commandments and I'm good. All right, I got the kingdom of heaven. I'm good. I'm okay. All right, you have to keep pushing it. Because if you think about it, the elect, trust me, they care about their brother. They care about the poor. Right? A lot of people, they look at a poor man, they throw him away. They push him to the side. Like, you know what? You broke, you don't got no money, you dirty, you don't take a shower. I don't gotta be talking to you. Right. But I've seen it a lot from our people. Our people, declining the poor. They don't even feel bad for the poor. And that's the problem with our people. It's one thing to, in the laws, it's like, okay, if you love somebody, you wouldn't do this to them. You wouldn't murder them. If you love somebody, you wouldn't kill them, you wouldn't steal from them, right? But also there's things that you would do. And a prime example is giving alms, giving to your people. There's stuff you wouldn't do if you love somebody, but there's also stuff you will do. So there's the flip side to it. So without being said, I'm going to share my screen today. Today we're going to be putting up the scriptures up in the screen so we could all just walk along together. So we're going to always start with the book of Colossians 3 and 17. All right. Let me just make sure the live is going. All right. Book of Colossians 3 and 17. All right. It says, and whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Yahawashi, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by him. So 1 second. Let me see. All right. Just making sure I'm live, family. Okay, so, and whatsoever we do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Yahawashi, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by him. So, as you know, Yahawashi, true name, who people call Yahawashi, well, that's his true name, Yahawashi. People ignorantly call him Jesus Christ, right? We all know through him is the only way we get to the Most High. A lot of people that don't believe in him, judgment is coming, right? And this is our way of just saying, we'd like to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High through Hamashiach Yahawashi. This is the precept to it, right? You see different camps, they start off by giving all praises to the Most High through Yahawashi. So that's something we always have to keep in mind. This is something we meditate on. This is something we apply. This scripture right here, you could apply to anything that you do in life. Because you could always look at Yahawashi as an example. You could always look at Yahawashi in anything you're doing. Right? Let's say you wanna, I don't know, you're driving to the store and you don't know if it's a bad thing to take or that money that's on the floor. Where you gotta have that thought, okay, if Yahawashi was here, what would he do? This is somebody you got to try and be like, right? A lot of us want to be like our favorite celebrities. A lot of us want to be like our favorite wrestlers, our favorite basketball players, baseball players. But the true way, the one way that we should be going, the right way, is Yahawashi, who people call Jesus Christ. So everything we do in word or deed, do all in the name of Yahawashi. Right? So Now I'm gonna share my screen again because we're going to start off with the first book. We're gonna get Psalms. I'm gonna get Psalms. Salakia family. We're gonna start off with the book of Psalms. I'm not sure if I'm live, but I'm gonna rock with it. Psalms chapter 41. All right, book of Psalms chapter 41 and verse 1. Let me sure you can see my screen. Okay, Khan. So this book of Psalms chapter 41, verse 1, right? To the chief musician, a psalm of David. Blessed is he that considereth the poor. The Lord will deliver him in time of trouble. This is right powerful scripture written in the book of Psalms. Right? Blessed is he that considereth the poor. One thing about us, right, and that goes for everybody, is I shouldn't see a poor man or a man that needs something or a homeless man and look at him like I'm any better than him. That's not how I'm supposed to be looking at him. That's the brother I'm looking at. I'm supposed to be looking at him like he the son of the Most High, like he an Israelite, somebody that I should be loving, somebody that the Most High really loves, somebody that the Most High care for, somebody that Yahawashi died for. This is exactly how I'm supposed to be looking at him. Celebrities be looking at us. They be looking down at us, right? If anything, I should have that heart like, dang, man, he needs some food. He needs some water. Now back then compared to today is a whole different ballgame. Today you have to be wise, right? When you just give money out, they could spend it on anything, cigarettes and it's etc. and just start smoking. All right, this is why it's important to directly ask them, oh, are you hungry? Are you thirsty? You need some new clothes, right? You offer him some new things. You got to be there for him, right? You got to bless him. I'm not asking you to, hey, if it's in your heart, if you really trust a man that much to live stand, right? The Most High is, first of all, the Most High has it. Like I said, it doesn't matter if I have all the money on earth. I have the cars, I have the women, I got the houses. I'm a rich man. I got all the cattle. Right? The Most High is going to still judge me the same way He's going to judge somebody that doesn't have nothing, that has no money, that has none of this. We're both getting the same judgment. If I break a law, I'm going to be put to death. Right? In the time of Moses, of course. But breaking sin leads to what? To death. So if you continue breaking the law, no matter what the situation is, it's always gonna lead to death, right? But so I'm gonna read it again. It says, "Blessed is he that considereth the poor; the Lord will deliver him in a time of trouble." So, hey, it's self-written. I'm just trying to make sure I'm live. Just give me 1 second, family. Am I live? I don't know. I'll find a way to post a video after. So I'm gonna go ahead and get another book in the Psalms. We're gonna stay in Psalms to get that precept to what I was talking about, right? Because it doesn't matter. Matter of fact, the Most High has a higher chance of hearing somebody that's in a lower state and very humble than somebody that's in a higher state. Right? The Most High would hear the lowly, so I'm gonna get that for you, right? It's Book of Psalms 138. I think. Book of Psalms, chapter 138, and verse. What am I looking for? Psalms 138 name. All right, verse 6. It says, "Though the Lord be high, yet hath he respect unto the lowly, but the proud he knoweth afar off. That's a prime example. The Most High has respect to the lowly. When you're in a lower state and you come to the Most High, that means a lot, right? Because that's you at your lowest, at your weakest, and you're going to the Most High, right? So the Most High will probably hear you over somebody that has everything, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's not about your status on how much money you have, how much cars you have, how much houses you have. You can have everything. Right? You think Yahawashi was coming here looking for people with cars and well, he if there was a car, yeah, cars and houses and etc. That's not what he came for. He came to die for us, but he came to be an example to us that he should keep his commandments. That's who the Most High favors. That's why he favored Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the 12 tribe of Israel. He favored us because why? He gave us the commandments, and that the commandments is simply for us, right? To keep the commandments because he loves us. And this is something we're supposed to be looking at, right? So let me get that in the law, matter of fact, too. Let me see. Deuteronomy 15 and 7. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15. Watch this. Okay, so it says, 15 verse 7. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother. Right? It's written in the law. You see a poor man, look, don't shut your hands. All right, don't just shut your hands and try not to help him or help a brother out. You look in the way, you look in the opposite way. That's not the spirit the Most High wants us to move with. All right. But thou shalt, verse 8, but thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him, and shall surely lend him sufficient for his need and that which he wanted. All right. So, like I said, this is a prime example. This is written in the law. We see a poor man, we see a man that needs something. If you have, then give. Scriptures say the more you have, the more you should be giving. Right. So looking out for one of our brothers, one of our people, right, is a key point. Why? Because if you was put in that position, if you was a poor man, you would be wanting somebody to feed you. You're gonna be wanting somebody to give you money. You're gonna be wanting people to give you water. You're gonna want clothes, right? It's the same thing. What do Yahawashi say? You know what? Let's get that. What do Yahawashi say? Let's get that in Matthew. Book of Matthew, chapter 7. Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. And it says, therefore, all things whatsoever you would that men should do to you. So whatever things you want men to do to you, watch this, do ye even so to them. Right? You got to think about it. If I was that brother, I know how I would have felt. If I didn't have this, if I didn't have no AC to live under, I know how I would have felt. All right. I would have been asking people for help. I would have been asking people for money. That could have been me. This is why you need to help that brother out. Because it could be you. And it's not too late. The most I could flip the script. Right? For this is the law and the prophets. This is the law and the prophets. And like I said in the beginning, there's things that you wouldn't do to somebody if you love him. Like you wouldn't steal for them. You wouldn't cuss them out. You wouldn't fight them. You wouldn't throw them under the bus or make up lies and gossip about them. Right? There's things you wouldn't do if you love somebody, but there's also things that you would do. There's that feeling that you should have if you genuinely love somebody. If you see one of our people suffering, the way our people be getting gunned down, right? If you watching a just to let you know, if you're not feeling a type of way about it, then that's saying a lot, right? You need to work. You need more fasting. You need to give more. You need more prayer, right? You think Yahawashi was happy when John the Baptist was locked up and in his death, right? You think Yahawashi had to look? Yahawashi himself had to suffer. You think the disciples was well? First of all, I know Judas turned his back on Yahawashi, but you think that's what they wanted? You think that's what Yahawashi wanted? You got to consider these things. The things you have in life, it's not. Look, you have to be grateful for what you have, of course, right? But you also have to look out for others. Look out for your brethrens. Look out for your sisters out there, right? You do not want them getting lost in the sauce. This is really what it's all about. So therefore, all things whatsoever you would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. Right? This is what's written in the laws, and this is what's written in the prophets. Right? You got to see how humble of a man Moses was. Right? Moses treated people with so much love. He was a very meek man. He was very humble. This is how we're supposed to be trying to get, like Moses was, like Yahawashi was. Right? A lot of these prophets and a lot of the prophets in the mighty men of the Bible have a lot in common. They have a lot in common. Right? And this is why it's really important to practice the fruits of the spirits. So let's go ahead and get that Tobit chapter 1. Because if you read the book of Tobit, you would understand. Let me see. All right. If you read the book of Tobit, you will understand how humble he was. Well, not only that, he loved to give. One thing about Tobit is he loved to give. He taught his family that you should be giving. Give to the poor. Right. So we're gonna go ahead and just get into it. This is the book of Tobit, chapter 1, verse 3. I, Tobit, have walked all the days of my life in the ways of truth, which is the commandments, and justice. And I did many alms deed to my brethren. He gave a lot of alms to his brethren, right? In my nation, who came with me to Nineveh, into the land of the Assyrians, because we know the northern kingdom went into captivity, right? So he will during that whole captivity, right? He was given to his people. He was given to his brethren, those that did not have anything, right? And we're gonna get a prime example on that. I'm gonna drop down to verse 16. Verse 16. In the time of Enemisar, I gave many alms to my brethren. Right? He said he gave many alms to his brethren and gave my bread to the hungry. So he was given to the need, to the poor, right? To his brethren within his nation, because he loved Israel, right? And he gave bread. I mean, he gave food to those that was hungry. Let's keep reading. In my clothes to the naked. So he gave his clothes also to the naked. And that's what I was saying. You see that, you see a brother struggling. How about you help a brother out? Right. And I challenge everybody. This is literally what the Monday Live class is going to be about. Right. And this is what I want to do. The purpose is basically to hit life lessons. Right. Something you could apply to your life. Challenge yourself. Right. I know with me sometimes, and somebody that I know, we be simply trying to apply the scriptures to basically everything we do in life, right? How about you have like a whole week of, what, this week I'm gonna be doing this, right? And moving forward, I'm gonna try my best to be better and get only better. I'm gonna start giving to the poor more, right? Even if you don't have enough, you gotta just give to the poor, right? Of course, you got to be wise about it, but that's the spirit that Tobit walked with. If he barely had enough, whatever, if he had 5 pennies, listen, look, he would give one to the poor. We'll get like two to the poor. That's the spirit that Tobit walked with, right? So let's keep reading though. Where did I leave off? Verse 17. In my clothes to the naked, and if I saw any of my nation dead or cast about the walls of Nineveh, I buried him. So he went as far as even burying our people, right? You gotta think about it. He didn't want to let the body, he didn't just want to let the body sit and get defiled and just defile the floor. All right. Just simply sit on the ground getting eaten up by bugs and insects. No, he went out of his way to bury a dead body of his people. Now, if you read the whole book of Tobit, I'm telling you, right, you're gonna see the spirit he walked in, and he taught his family, right, and in the spirit of his son, right, and the Tobit's daughter-in-law and their family, they walked in a lot. They walked in the mighty spirit, right, of giving to others. There was teaching to give to others. This is what it's about. This is what it's supposed to be about. This is how it's going to be like in the kingdom of heaven. Well, actually, in the kingdom of heaven, our poorest is going to be richer than freaking Elon Musk, right? But was that it? I want to hit. Yeah, Con, that was the point I want to hit. So the thing is, also, I want to prove this point real quickly before I end this, right? Why it's important to treat others how you want to be treated. Not only that, you give to the poor, right? The way you treat people, you need to pay attention to, because you never know. You can be entertaining an angel, right? Angels could come in human form and you do not know it, just to test you. And like I said, if you read the story of Tobit, the angels tested him. They tested Tobit and Tobias, right? And guess what? They passed. He said it was the angel Gabriel. He said that the Most High sent him down. So angels will come to literally test you, according to the scripture, right? Just as a prime example, everything that was written aforetime was written for our learning. So angels could come in human form, and you wouldn't know. We've seen that in Genesis, and we've seen that in Tobit, right? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get the scripture. Book of Hebrews. All right. Book of Hebrews, chapter 13, and verse 2. It says, "Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware." So there's people on this earth right now, right? That didn't know that they was talking to an actual angel. But you probably mistreated that angel. Right? It could be a homeless man walking up to you. Hey, can you spare me some change? Or I'm hungry. You think you could buy me some food? A lot of our people is, man, I don't got nothing. I don't got nothing for you. Knowing damn well you do. You got the money in your pocket. You got your debit card in your pocket. But you look at him and tell him straight up, I don't got nothing for you. You watching him suffer. Right? He's hungry and you just watching him. He has nothing. You see that he needs help. It could have been an angel. It could have been a test. What are you going to do? Are you going to turn him down? Because trust me, you're going to regret that. Right? And that's not the spirit that the Most High taught us to walk with. This is why it's important to read the laws of the Most High, right? So, I have to go back to Tobit. I have to go back to Tobit because, like I said, he's a prime example of how we're supposed to be when it comes to our brethren and giving to our brethren and to our people. All right, Book of Tobit. Where was he? This is a prime example, right? Tobit chapter 4 in verse 7. It says, "Give alms of thy substance, and when thou givest alms, let not thine eye be envious." So if you're gonna give to somebody, it better be coming from the bottom of your heart, with all your heart and all your soul. It better not be no, you know what? Dang, but the law says I gotta give. So here you go, man. Just go get some food, whatever. All right. Or you shouldn't be having to like, gotta give, bro. Man, I only have $5 left. It's not the spirit you're supposed to be walking in. Right. But you gotta give it genuinely, like, yeah, man. I see your pain. I'm giving this to you. Matter of fact, this is all I have. Here you go, brother. Go get you something. Go get you something to eat. Right? It says, neither turn thy face from any poor. Right? I don't know why it's not letting me. I'm gonna let whatever. And the face of God shall not be turned away from thee. It's plain and simple. if you need something, first of all, when we need something, the first thing we do is go to the Most High. How would you feel the Most High rejected you? Especially when you're at your lowest, you go to the Most High. How would you feel he rejected you? But you're doing the same thing to who? To your people. You're rejecting them. You turn away from them. Why? Because you have money and they don't? That's not what matters in the eyes of the Most High, like I said. Verse 8, if thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly. If thou have but a little, be not afraid to give according to that little. If you got a little, it's okay to give them a little. Right? But don't be afraid to give to them. Right? Because the Most High could bless you. The Most High is watching you. This is the spirit we're supposed to walk in, Israel. Right? For thou, verse 9, for thou layest up a good treasure for thyself against the day of necessity, because that alms do deliver from death, and suffereth not to come into darkness. For alms is a good gift unto all that give it in the sight of the Most High. Well, look, that answers your question. If you want to please the Most High, give alms. All right, give to the poor. Give. We have to learn how to give. This is supposed to be a life lesson. This is something we're supposed to apply to ourselves. Every single Monday is going to be something we're supposed to apply to ourselves. Right? I don't have it down here, but I know I'm going to go to Tobit chapter 12. It's going to be the second to last scripture. Book of Tobit chapter 12, verse 8. Prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness. A little with righteousness is better than much with unrighteousness. So if a poor man, right, a poor man is being righteous, is better than me being rich and not keeping the commandments and being unrighteous. Got to understand that. That poor man has the kingdom coming for them. That's what they got coming for them when they're living in righteousness. He's actually the rich one. Honestly, he's going to have the last laugh. But the guy that's the one that has everything, but they're unrighteous, Most High has something for you in his judgment. Most High is going to judge everybody, good and bad, right? It is better to give alms than to lay up gold. So it's better to give alms than to save up, to just rack up on money, right? It's a good thing to save. I'm not disqualifying that, right? But if you have a lot, give. Find a way to separate your savings, right? How about you, I don't know, give 10% to the poor, right, of your paycheck. It's something. $50. Shoot, however you want to go about it. But make sure, and you have to be wise on how you give it to the poor. Like I said, because a lot of them will just buy some cigarettes and stuff, and that's not what we're looking for. You know, I find it better if you give them food, you give them water. Shoot, go to Walmart and buy them a pack of water. That way they have something to drink. Every week you go out to that same spot, you giving. Every week they're expecting you. They're gonna look up to you like, damn, this person really care. This person, you know, God bless them. God bless them. That's how they're gonna be. They're gonna be very grateful. They're gonna be looking for it for that week. Right? So last but not least, Tobit 4 and 21. Like I said, everybody, if you haven't read the book of Tobit, you gotta read up. You gotta read up on it. All right. So to wrap it up, this is the book of Tobit, chapter 4, and verse 21. And it says, and fear not, my son, that we are made poor, for thou hast much wealth, if thou fear God, and depart from all sin, and do that which is pleasing in his sight. All right, so look, I know if I go poor, I'm gonna try my best to keep the commandments, live in righteousness, and my gift is going to be what? The kingdom of heaven. And this really what it's all about. Giving to the poor. Right? This is a life lesson. This is something I want everybody to try to apply to their life from now on, to increasing, to become better in fasting, giving alms, giving to the poor, looking out for your people. Right? Even those that have, give to them. Right? Even those that have, give to them. Those that have, just give. that it's better to give. So hopefully, it's a very edifying lesson today about giving to the poor. There's many different points we could have hit. Right, you could go all throughout the scriptures and just see like points, back to back points and precepts on giving to the poor. Me personally, I stick with Tobit because he's like a prime example, like I said, and how you should be, right? How much he cared about his people, how much he cared about the nation of Israel, right? How much he cared about the northern kingdom. He cared about us, right? He's the one that was keeping the commandments of the Most High. And guess what? When he prayed to the Most High answered his prayer, right? So, with that being said, I like to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High through Hamashiach Yahawashi. Till next time, Israel, shalom.